Good morning 이렇게 문자를 보내 너에게 빠진 것 같아 위험해.
That first morning, Antonio woke up early and journeyed to the top of Seoul Tower.
I woke up at 8 a.m. and climbed my ass up that mountain. It was such a soul-searching journey. I almost blacked out walking that thing. I felt a sense of inner peace. There was a bit of snow on top in a convenience store there where the guy looked at me weird.
Me? I slept so well I forgot I was even in Seoul. I woke up around noon and could have probably slept a lot longer. The 4 Points was comfortable. It was gorgeous. I didn't have time to appreciate things the previous night, but when I had time to sink it in, it was filled with awesome conveniences. I liked how everything lit up by placing a key to a switch, and the toilet, it sprayed water and blew dried your ass. There was a reason Antonio nicknamed it Poseidon's Finger. Finally, we left our shell and explored the area. For Metropolis, Seoul is very spacious. You don't see the crowdedness like most cities. It was hilly, but the elevation inclines were extreme, so getting to the higher areas weren't so bad. Everything was scenic. The subway system was a bit annoying. Everything required a recharge, and since we are foreigners, we kept buying tickets or tags. The local used credit cards to get through, but we kept going to recharging stations. The map was somewhat confusing, mostly because the names were similar, and the damn thing was fragile. We should have gotten a local phone with GPS instead.
Seoul had the cleanest subways I've ever seen. A lot of it reminded me of Mexico City, but cleaner. The rocky music before the train arrived was the best part. I felt like we were gonna have an adventure.
The train themselves were chock full of people. It was a good opportunity to observe Koreans. Everyone was obsessed with their phones here, and the young people were good looking. The women were fashionable and kept appearances, and the guys, there were 4 categories: Austin Powers, Harry Potter, K-drama model, and fatty.
Right when we planned the trip, I was hell-bent on visiting a temple in Seoul. I wanted to see how different countries portrayed Buddhism. The temple was nice and free. I felt at peace there. Everything was balanced, and compared to a lot of temples I've been to, this one was twice the size. I loved the entire thing. It was right in the middle of Seoul, next to Christmas-dominated themes like Christmas trees and snowmen. Kind of cool contrasts and symbols of defiance. I respected the temple and offered a few gestures of honor. I felt terrible after that visit, like a free soul. I wish I could have been this way forever. On the way out, I started to look for souvenir statues, but the nearby stores were charging high prices. It was highway robbery. My spirit began getting pissed, but overall the temple was great. I was glad I went there.
We had a lot of time before the New Year's countdown, and I wanted to do the thing I like to do the most: eat. There were so many food options in Seoul. We indulged ourselves on Food Street. Two particular Food Street items I liked were the fried eel hot dogs and egg bread. I highly recommend them.
Let me tell you what happened again. What
Of course, we did other things too, like shop. There were so many linking shopping centers that it was easy to get lost. The whole thing was a maze, connected through underground tunnels and skyways. You could easily travel an entire district without touching ground level. Our favorite area was the Mongdong district. We didn't even target the place, just kept naturally returning. It had a little of everything. We tried to count down all the foreign stores we could find because Seoul had a lot of them. McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Krispy Kreme. There was even a KFC with Korean Colonel Sanders. We must have counted at least 80, but the one that stood out the most was Lotte. Lotte was a Japanese brand that's everywhere in Seoul. They even had their own theme park, called Lotte World. And now it was almost midnight, New Year's Eve. Antonio and I never made plans, but we thought Gangnam would be the best place because of the song. But boy, did we see a red flag when everywhere was closed and people were leaving for bus rides and taxis. We found this hole in the wall, and the guy who served us had a big scar on his face. We tried asking him where the parties were, but he couldn't speak English. He made us spicy noodles instead.
Man, I was disappointed in Gangneom. I had expected everything to be lively and fun, but it was dead. There wasn't even that much lighting around. We went from alleyway to alleyway, but all we saw were lame buildings. We just picked Gangneom cause it was famous.
We finally passed by a place that resembled a pub. There was loud music blaring out of it, and it seemed to draw whoever was left. We had 45 minutes till countdown, so we settled on it and the owner seemed ecstatic. The cover charge was cheap, and they gave away free German beer. In its basement, there were expats playing beer pong and a sprinkle of local Koreans. At least we got to celebrate with people who spoke English. I made a friend with one of them, called Whitney, who was teaching English in Seoul. I think we made lemonade out of lemons, and with 10 minutes left before New Year's countdown, we were lucky we weren't celebrating on empty streets. A lot of people who were there were on the same boat. They just thought Gangnam would be exciting, and since most were here by accident, strangers became family, at least for the remaining year. The host came out and started counting down to a giant screen. The screen showed a massive celebration in Myeongdong, which was ironic. Everyone gathered at the dance floor and anticipated the countdown. To hell with it, we thought. Let's make the best of things and live the moment. People started taking selfies. Strangers were hugging strangers as we counted down the rest of 2015 into oblivion. When the clock struck 12, frenzy was in.
네가 있었으면 해 정신없이 수다 떨다 음악 속에 그저 취한다 밤의 끝을 잡고 춤을 추다